Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Now guys, let's take a look at the gold market. This current update will be rather short, because it's not much to say currently on the gold market. We mostly have said everything on the last week, since the major shift in our long-term context has happened last week, because we've got the bearish pattern on the monthly chart that now is ruling the overall action and gives the direction, and until this pattern will exist, this context to the downward side probably will be valid. The only way how market could erase this context is to move above 1180 area and erase the bearish grabber on the monthly chart. But currently, we could say that hardly this will happen on the next week. Still, there is some a bit confusing situation has appeared. So if you'll take a look at the monthly and the weekly chart, you will see that the previous week was the one when the market has created the bullish grabber in opposite direction. And from that standpoint, they are contradictive patterns, the monthly pattern and the weekly. But shortly speaking, I think that the weekly pattern is the minor one, and mostly it is rather weak by some reasons and by the nature of how it has appeared. Also, guys, on the lower time frame charts, on the daily and on the hourly chart, we see some signs that increased chances of the failure of this weekly grabber. And particular to these moments, we will dedicate today's update. So our short-term target mostly is the previous lows. So we think that market in the short-term perspective should retest this 1080 area. On the way down, market already has passed through them all major support areas. So that we have discussed this last week. Market even has broken the 618 level. It's major fib support from this low to this high. 618 was something in that area. And now it's forming downward ABCD pattern. At the same time, you can see that market has turned to the upside action, but hasn't quite completed this ABCD pattern and hasn't quite reached the 100% extension of this ABCD pattern. So I have marked this by arrow. This is the distance between the lows and the target. But it is very interesting that these lows, in fact, and that action is nothing more but the weekly bullish grabber. Since the probability that market will hit the target before any retracement up is significant, it tells that as a consequence, the probability that this grabber will fail on the weekly chart is also significant. Because if market will reach the 100% target, it simultaneously will erase the grabber. And that's why, speaking from the probability point of view, we could say that probably the weekly grabber is doomed. So it's a really big chance that market will hit this target. Second issue we have on the hourly chart. So recall that on Friday we discussed this butterfly and said that probably market should hit the 127 extension, and this really has happened. And later in the session, market has turned to this upward retracement. The next destination point stands at 1092. It's very close to our daily targets, lows around 1080 area. But take a look at this butterfly. Yes, we have this upward bounce as a respect to the 127 extension of this pattern. But take a look that we have fast acceleration, this long candle right back down to the 127 extension target. And usually when the market forms the acceleration right to the target, it significantly increases the chance that market will continue to move lower to the 1618 target after retracement will happen, after retracement will take place. So that's why currently we think that there's really not big chances that the weekly grabber will work and will trigger this really action to the 1180 area. The more probable is that this pattern will fail on the next week. So everything, of course, could happen because we will get the Fed meeting on the next week. But my opinion, guys, is that the importance of this meeting currently is overestimated, because currently it really, my thought and my assessment is that investors right now mostly don't care what really will happen on this meeting, whether Fed will raise rates or it will not raise the rates, because everybody knows that if even Fed will raise the rate, this will be isolated event. So we will not see any chain of any consequence of the rate hiking month by month, and this will be just mostly indicative moment, because the Fed so long has talked about it, so it just probably will raise the rate for the one step for 25 points just to finish this tax, and just to say market, what else do you need? We have promised to raise rate, we have raised it, so that's all. And from that standpoint, the importance of these events really small, and I think that mostly market could be really insensitive to any result. Maybe it will be more sensitive to the dovish result. So if they will not raise the rate, that's why probably this will be too significant for the financial markets. So guys, that's our opinion on the gold market. That being said, we mostly expect the downward reversal and downward continuation on the common week of the action, and we still think that market probably should hit the previous lows around 1080.